You ever wondered why all these fish tubers and fish breeders are all using sponge filters? You ever think to yourself, is it really worth having that ugly thing in my tank? Well, in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you why I believe that the sponge filter is the most perfectly designed filter that you can buy for your aquarium, hands down. And I even enlisted a friend of mine, well-respected fish keeper, to help me do it. Look at it. It's so beautiful. Yo, what is up, all you stone cold, super fly, illmatic fish keeping funkadelics? You watching Aqua Aquatic with me, Aqua. And if this is your first time watching, go ahead and tag that sub and hit the notification bell so that you get all the funky little goodness as soon as it comes out. On my last video about the biotopes, anybody killer left me a comment, and I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully, you got that taken care of. But if you haven't, I just want to let you know, anybody killer. I just went to old school fish dude, and he recommended I use, let me see if you can see, a Prezi Pro. So I got a little bottle of it. I'm gonna try that out. He said it was some good. He said it was some powerful, potent stuff. Anyway, yeah. If you leave comments, I do read the comments, and I'm here to answer questions. So I appreciate I appreciate all the thumbs up and all that. But I want to help you. So please, if you got a question, leave a comment. All right, so now, for the reason that we all showed up to this place to begin with, talking about sponge filters right here. My #1 go-to filter of all times. Never used to be. I used to think they were ugly as heck. Like, I wouldn't put that in my tank. I spent all this money putting on, I got SpongeBob in there. I got some little sparkly plants that pink. I got a little chest that, opens and closes. I got me a dog with a big ball helmet on it. I got me a little skeleton. Why would I want to put this in there, right? No, I don't. I don't have any of that stuff in my tank. Well, here we go. I'm gonna tell you why this is for me the most perfect design filter for anybody's aquarium. Mwah! KISS is an acronym that I found out about when I was in the Army. It stands for Keep It Simple Stupid. And that's what this is. This is simple. No moving parts, nothing to break, nothing to replace. The only thing you have to do to this thing is rinse it out. You know what I mean? That's all you have to do to it. Not only that, it runs off of an air pump. So if I wanted to increase the power of this, I would just get a bigger air pump. This thing right here is rated for like a 60-gallon. They come in all different sizes. 10s, 20s, itty bitty little ones. They're actually pretty cheap. I think this one cost me about $8. Now that's without the hose and stuff like that. But when you consider the hose after taxes, I'm be honest with you, after taxes, I probably got $12 in this, and it's gonna last me forever. I never have to buy anything else. And let's talk about why this thing works so well. The #1 factor in clean water in your aquarium is a biological filtration. Well, if you see here, this thing has a lot of holes. They're referred to as PPI, pores per inch. And it has a lot of them. Now what these pores do is they provide a lot of surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow on. And there's a lot of pores in there. So you can get whatever pores you see fit. I'll leave that up to you. But they come from fine pores to thick pores where you can actually see them a lot better. This is a medium grade pore, and this is pretty much what I use. So aside from the fact that it's cheap, you don't have to buy anything no cartridges or nothing like that. You don't have to worry about extra energy uses. A lot of people have an air pump in their aquarium already. It's what's driving that skeleton. Just take it off the skeleton. All right, take it off the skeleton and put it on this thing. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're definitely going to want to get yourself a check valve. This is a one-way check valve. Air can only go one direction. Nothing can go the other direction. And you're going to want to get you a cut-off valve or whatever you want to call it. It controls the amount of airflow. And the reason why you want to do that is so that you don't have a back siphon situation where the water is coming out of your tank in the unfortunate event of a power outage. It happens sometimes. They're cheap. They're not that expensive. What is expensive is water damage. So, do it. Do it. I got accused recently of being just a simple fish keeper. To which I say, true. I am a simple fish keeper, and I'm here for other simple fish keepers, for simple fish questions, for simple fish devices and mechanisms and stuff like that. So if you have a question about this thing, except for the fact that why is it so ugly, please hit me up in the comments. I'll let you know. Alright, so while editing this video, I realized, man, I could have went on and on and on, but this video is strictly about why I like this filter. There's so many more things I could go over, but it would take so much time. I will be doing follow-up video on the maintenance of this filter. I got a friend of mine, Mr. B, right? And he wants to play devil's advocate. You always got that friend that always want to just step on you, just rain on your parade. Here's Mr. B. He got something to say because, listen, he's an experienced fish keeper and he uses these. So basically, he's going to come from the angle of the naysayer so that I can rebuke all his nastiness. Let's see what you got, Mr. B. What you got?
Hey everybody, Brandon here, Mr. B's Fishing Things. You know how much I like to give Funk a hard time. So the other day, Funk and I was talking a little bit about sponge filters. And he's telling me how great they are and wonderful they are. Well, just to play devil's advocate, I wanted to give him a hard time, and I said, what are you talking about? They're not all that great. So here's some of the things that I think are a problem with sponge filters.
There's always that one friend.
So here's a problem I had with ordering sponges. I couldn't buy one at my local fish store. So it's not like I could pick it up and check it out and see what size the pores were or the size of the filter. So these were both ordered as a large online.
Mr. B's got a point. That's why you might want to stick with one brand. Ask around, see what other people use. Personally, it don't make me no never mind.
An indirect problem is that if you've got sponge filters, you've got yourself an air pump somewhere. Now mine's in an entirely different room to keep the noise down, but that's just it. I've had to put it in another room.
There are many different types of air pumps you can get. Mr. B, in his situation, he's got a fish room, so what he's doing is he's using one large air pump to run everything. I don't know what he's using, but usually a linear piston pump, quiet.
A problem I've had with these sponge filters is the weight on the bottom of it isn't adequate enough to keep them from floating at times.
Whenever you get a brand new sponge filter, or maybe one that you just cleaned out, those pores are filled with air. So what you want to do is hold it down under the water, give it a couple of squishies, get the air out of it, and it'll fall down nicely.
These tubes, lift tubes, little fish can get caught in them. Plecos in particular love to get stuck in these little tubes.
Yeah, plecos are pretty much the only ones. Snails will also go down in those tubes, but they can't really go anywhere. And they usually get shot back up. I think they're having fun in the bubbles, personally. I don't know why Mr. B wants to hate on a little bit of fishy fun.
When you've got you some dirty fish, you spend a lot of time cleaning these filters because they don't stay clean very long before they get clogged up and need to be cleaned.
Completely right. The dirtier the fish, the more the filter gets dirty, and you do have to rinse them out. I suggest doing it once a week when you do your water changes. But here's the thing. Whether you have a hang on the back filter, a sump, or a canister filter, or a sponge filter, you still got the same amount of waste that you have to work with. So whether it be getting out of your canister filter, HOB, or sponge filter, you still got to deal with it.
They're unsightly. Get yourself a nice tank set up, and what do you got? It's a big old black sponge in the middle of your tank.
Yeah, I was one of those guys that were like, oh, that's ugly, I'll never have one of those in my tank. But since using them, the benefits far outweigh the unsightliness of it. Plus, hey, if you want to get some long plants and put it behind the plants, you know, you can hide it the best you can. But like I said, I'd rather look at that than a dirty tank.
Besides, there ain't no way that sponge filter is going to do the job these big old canisters are going to do, are they? Are they?
Alright, so he makes a point that people always ask me. Those sponge filters can never do the same amount of work as the canister filters. To which I say, yes they can. They may not be able to take the particles out of the water as much as those big canisters, but you should be doing 25% water changes, and these are stackable, so you can actually go up and up and up. And to be honest with you, canister filters, sometimes people have a bad habit of doing those out of sight, out of mind things, so they don't clean those canister filters out as much as they should, whereas this is right in your face and easily cleanable. So yeah.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. And hey, Funk, thanks for asking me to babble on your channel a little bit.
All right, so I'd like to thank Mr. B for his participation in this video. Go check him out. I'm going to leave his link to his YouTube channel, and I'm going to leave a link to FishKeepers Notification Squad, which he is holding down like a boss. In summation, all jokes aside, for the price, for the money, you cannot beat the cost of these guys. One is they're cheap to buy at the beginning. Second, there is no parts or filter cartridges that you have to purchase over again, and your electric bill doesn't change if you're using, you know, air pumps, which everybody is. So your electric bill does change. So yeah, if you're just starting out in the hobby and you're having problems getting your water right, throw one of these in your tank. The benefits far outweigh the looks, and really that's the only real negative that anybody has to complain about, is the look of it. But I'd rather look at that than milky, cloudy water. That's my time. Like always, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your fish.